with Baz. My special studio guest is Joe Camilleri. We are celebrating Certified Blue, Joe's new release. Now, it's got a broad mix of all genres on it. We've been talking off air, blues, rock, country, soul. They're all on the CD.
Mm-hmm.
What intrigues me, but what's your passion of all those genres? What's your most passionate?
Well, yeah, I think blues is my favourite thing, and I love jazz music. You know, and I like the back end of jazz, which is the blues, and that's where I started really. I mean, even the rock and roll. You know, when you heard, you know, I'm ancient. You know, so when I was listening to the radio and Elvis Presley was on the jukebox, we're dealing, you know, a lot of that stuff was blues. You know, That's All Right Mama, that's a blues song, isn't it?
That's
you know,
right.
We you know, just souped it up a bit.
Absolutely.
And so I'm always looking for something there, you know, and it's my favourite thing. But everything sort of comes from there, I reckon. Everything really kind of just gets lifted off from there. You know, so to me, it's if you've got a good story, you can take it somewhere. It doesn't have to be in that format. It doesn't have to relate to that. And I think all the great artists, you know, that's their struggle. That's their Achilles heel. That's where, you know, that's where they're at home. That's where they can make something out of something. You know, so that's important for me. As an artist, or you know, recording artist, is to find something in there, and you know, like all the other things, you know, like pop music, and I grew up with all those things that you like, you know, and I'm fortunate enough to have a bit of a recording career from the 70s onwards, and so you know, you find something in it. You know, whether it's reggae, you know, when I found those songs like Hit and Run and Shape I'm In, you know, I was just looking for stuff. But I just, you know, but I'd already been listening to Bo Diddley, you know, I didn't know that he was a blues guy or anything. I just kind of just started playing. I just started playing that and thinking, well, that's pop music, but it all came from the blues.
Absolutely, that riff. So many songs that come from the Bo Diddley. So many songs.
There's a lot of those.
Oh yeah. Now, so being in the business for 50 years, after all this time, are you still influenced by new artists and other artists?
Well, you know, I just kind of. Well, that's a hard question because you just kind of, it's what you hear. And if it's new, and if it's. I always seem to go back and listen to the people that I liked as a younger man, and if something pops out, you know, someone's doing something, you give it an ear. You know? So, but normally I would go and love the music that I've loved in the past and try to make something out of that. So, you know, my staple diet is John Lee Hooker, Miles Davis, John Coltrane.
Not a bad diet.
No, not bad, but yeah, and lots of others, Robert Johnson, all those,
yeah.
Freddie McDowell, all those, you know, Howlin' Wolf. Those sort of people still intrigue me. I'm still in awe of these people. Still think, how do they do that? How do they make that work like that? I can't make that work.
When Keith Richards first heard Robert Johnson, he said, "Who was the second guitarist?"
Well, that's right. You know, and
it's two guitars.
Yeah. So there's just something about someone like Blind Willie McTell that it's not. He's a great guitar player and a great singer, a great song, but there's something in the songs that are they don't have a shelf life.
Yeah.
You know, the sound might have you know, it might date it, but not the actual the connection, the commitment to it. So I still find those things fascinating. You know, so and occasionally you find something. Like Amy Winehouse, you know, I think she was incredible. Incredible, like sad that we lost her. But she had the makings of, you know, or she already did it.
Yeah.
You know, So when you hear something like that, you want to, you think that's quite valuable. That's just one person that I think is kind of was really valuable and had something else to say.
All right, let's get some live music from you. What do you want to do live?
Off the record.
Okay.
Well, let's try this one. This is how in the kitchen. This would have sounded a bit like this. Can't give up on you. Well, I've given up my skin, and there's no more wine. I'm gonna tell those sweet girls to get right back in line. There's only one thing I can do. No, we love her. I can't give up. I can't give up. No matter how hard I try, no matter what I do, I can't give up. I can't give up. I'm tired of running with the same old path. You won't find me in Vegas. I ain't ever coming back. There's only one thing I can do. No, we love her. I can't give up on you. Even though you made me feel so blue. No matter how hard I try, I can't give up. Can't give up. I can't give up. I can't give up on you.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Thanks very much. Absolutely wonderful. Now, you talked before...
Kitchen singing.
I think you've got to start somewhere. Yeah, and I was saying to you too, off air, that on the CD, that is a very up and a very vibey song, yet just such a bluesy feel comes from the original, like the acoustics version.
Yeah, well, what I like to do is not let the band, when we go in the studio, the whole thing is know what you want to do, but you don't have to. These are really good players, they're going to jump on. They're there because they're really good, and so you got to try to do this within one or with 3 takes or something. And the first one is just to get to be familiar with something. Sometimes it might take 5 takes, but the whole idea is to kind of there's plenty of room to go. It's never quite. It hasn't peaked. There's a subversion, like you're looking for something inside something. So I probably would have played something like that, and they would have picked up on it, and and then it would have been souped up somehow because all of a sudden there's 5 people playing it, and we ended up with what we had. But it's kind of nicer that way because everyone contributes as well, and it is a band. It really. I might be running it and driving it, but I'm a slave to it as well. So I kind of like the push and pull. Sometimes it's better, I don't get it better than what I do on my own. Sometimes, it sort of says more. But more often than not, it doesn't. It's better for it.
Speaking of the band, you've had about, I think, 40 people go through the Black Sorrows. Yeah. Is that about right?
What does that say about me? No, well, there's been a few more, but look, it's. I think when you're ready to go, you normally go. I've never sacked anybody, so when you're ready to go, you just say, look, I've done my time. I need to break free, and the only thing I've ever done is said, well, look, I have to stop. This is just not work. It sounds good and everything, but it's not working. I have to move it round some way and find something else.
Yeah, but that also keeps the music fresh.
It does, yeah.
If you keep, if the band's always changing and the musicians are changing and you're getting fresh ideas coming in and you're getting people playing it different ways, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Well, pretty much for me, I want to be inspired when on stage. I love playing music. live is something different than just being in the studio. I'm not really interested in reconnecting exactly the same as I did in the studio. I think that's just a moment in time. That's the thing where you say, well, this is a demonstration or recording of this song. This is how it is. Now when we play it, we have to, that's your benchmark, let's take it somewhere else, let's move it, let's see what we can find in it. Let's be free with it, and that's kind of exciting. So to me, that unfolds into something else. So you want to be able to do that, and you want to be hanging out with people that want similar things, you know.
While you're talking about that, let's talk about Blues Fest. You just come back from the 25th Blues Fest.
Yeah.
Talking about playing live. You played with one of your musical heroes, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, that was Garland Jeffries.
Yeah.
It was you know, a beautiful man. Fistful of great songs. He's written some incredible songs. Beautiful singer. You just want to be around him. You know, you want to be around people like that. And once again, you know, you just lots of stories to tell, lots of information to take in. We exchanged information. We really enjoyed each other's company. We enjoyed each other's musicality, and I think those things are very valuable to you. And you know, sometimes you think because you're living at the edge of the world, these things don't happen. Of course, they happen a lot more if you're in that part of the world, because there's more opportunities to connect. But we connected in 1970 something, you know, late 70s, when I went to New York, and he came to see us play, and he loved that record, The Shape I'm In, and Hit and Run. He loved those songs, and we were threatening to do something for 30 years, you know. And we finally did, and it was great. And it was great being at that festival. I think
incredible lineup, wasn't it? A musician.
Incredible lineup, and the Sorrows played incredibly well. So it was kind of I was excited being there, and it was fun, you know. And it's always really you get a sense of where you are to some degree too musically, because you get to see some pretty heavy dudes, you know.
Some big hitters.
The funny thing for me was that he's because Dr. John played on Garland's record, Wild in the Streets, and Dr. John was in his room, you know, waiting to go on, and I walked in and he introduced me to Dr. John, and he said, and all I could say to him, "Is that a mauve suit you're wearing? Would you call that a purple suit?" I had nothing.
Yeah.
I just couldn't, you know, when you kind of say that. Yeah. I'm so excited, and so that was kind of an interesting thing. But
it was like that for 5 days, wasn't it? Just the lineup didn't stop.
You know, and meeting people that you've been buying records like 30, 40 years, you know. I'm just trying to think, you know, the Buddy Guy, you know, Junior Wells and Buddy Guy, that Hoodoo Blues record, I think it was on Delmar or something like that.
The man's like 78 years old, and he's got more energy than a 25-year-old, hasn't he?
But
unbelievable.
Incredible, you know, and you want to sort of say, I've got that record, you know, like millions of other people, you know, would you mind signing this record? But of course you don't. But you're excited by it, you know.
Now, one person that was there was Elvis Costello, and we've talked about your songwriting. Now, he's done cover, and John Denver's also covered your songs.
We've had a few of those. Had a few covers.
How does that feel with people of that calibre? Just taking your songs on. It must be a buzz.
Well, of course it's exciting. I was just gonna say something stupid, you know, which I seem to do all the time. But I you know, when I heard Elvis's version, I just said, you know, it's crap, really, isn't it? It's just it's not right. It's just not right. But I thought John Denver was the funny thing, because he used Elvis Presley's band on that record, so I was more excited by that. But he did this really funny thing, and because he was a positive guy, and not to say that I'm not positive, But Hold On To Me, the first line is we were dead on arrival, which means, you know, as we would say, we're dead tired, and we're just... and he couldn't cope with that. He had to say we were alive on arrival, which changed everything. And I just didn't get it, you know. I was happy for him to do it anyway, but, you know, I always found that peculiar. But he recorded 3 songs off that, and my favourite record is by Frankie Miller. Frankie Miller recorded So Young, and I thought, I stole some of that and put it in my own thing. You know, I took that and put it in my bag, because he's an incredible singer. I don't know if he's still alive, Frankie Miller. He's probably still alive. But what a singer, man! He was a killer singer.